Guys, wow.
We are still stuck in a love triangle.
I'm gonna need a minute to process that.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am in the middle of 11 series and I want to take some off before I start some new series. Okay, technically I am in the middle of 15 series, but for those series I am not convinced that I am going to continue. Those series are Sa, Butcher and Blackbird, The Selection, and the Persephone and Hades saga. I didn't fully enjoy those series, so at the moment they're on the back burner, and maybe in the next year or so I will go back to them and read them. So with the remaining 11 series that I'm in the middle of, 6 of them I am still waiting for the next book to be released. So those series are From Blood and Ash. The next book comes out in June. I am so excited. Akatar, there's no release date yet, but there must be another book. Surely there must be another book. If you guys have heard anything, let me know in the comments below. Fire and Metal. This is a duology, so there is The Metal Slinger and then the next book is supposed to come out this year. Powerless. I think it's April that the next one comes out. The last one ended on a cliffhanger. Fourth Wing. Onyx Storm just came out, so I can't expect another one to come out soon. And then The Wren in the Hollywood. I can never get that name right. The Wren in the Holly Library. The next one is supposed to come out this year. So those 6 are on hold at the moment because I'm still waiting for the next book. So that leaves 5 series with books that are already out or books that will be released this month that I'll read in this reading vlog. The first series is the Flesh and Fire series. That's the prequel series of From Blood and Ash. I have 2 books left and I'm very excited to read them. The next series is Caraval. I've only read the first book and have 2 books left. The series is not as gripping as the other series that I've got books out still to read, but I really want to get through it so that I can start Once Upon a Broken Heart. And then I've got 3 books remaining in Throne of Glass, and then I've got 1 book left for Lightlark, and I really want to pick up that one first, I think. The last one is The Crimson Moth. So I've read Heartless Hunter this month, and the next book is supposed to be coming out in a couple of weeks, I think the 18th of February. Skyshade is the one that's most gripping at the moment. I have been dying to pick it up. I've downloaded it on my Kindle. I've downloaded Skyshade on my Kindle and I'm going to start reading it now. But guys, I didn't know that it was only like 384 pages. I thought that it would at least be over 400 pages. I think the other 2 books were around 400, so quite surprising that it's only 383 pages. But I thought I would read a couple of chapters now. Only on the first chapter, and there is already a declaration of love from one of the main male characters. He says, "I would do it 1,000 times over. You should know that. I'll choose you over the world every single time." I feel like romantasy books have such epic declarations of love. I am about 3 chapters in, and there's always something about coming back to a series that you've put down for a month or 2. It always feels kind of like coming back home. It really is such a nice feeling. Like you're like, oh yeah, I know the character. It's so nice to pick the series back up and get to know them a bit better. So for those of you who have not read Lightlark, I'll just talk a little bit about what the first book is about because I don't want to spoil the other two books for you. But Lightlark is a series where the world that they're in has been cursed, and the only way for the curse to be lifted is for the 6 different rulers of the world to come together and go through some challenges to overcome these curses, and one ruler must die in order for the curse to be lifted. So yeah, I am now on the 3rd book, and at the moment there is a love triangle. Love triangles can be quite, especially when you go into a 3rd book, it can be quite difficult to read, but hopefully she ends up choosing someone in this book. I am about 40% of the way through Skyshade, and I must admit I'm not enjoying it as much as I did the first 2 books, which has been a little bit disappointing. We are still stuck in a love triangle. Our main female character in this book is having to spend more time with one of the main male characters, and it's giving me a little bit of a Court of Mist and Fury vibes, but not as epic. It has still been a good read. Just a few things that I wanted to chat about in this book. The first one, oh, a motorbike. Okay, it's gone. I can carry on. The first point I had was, in this book there is a dragon, and every time she interacts with the dragon, they explain how the dragon like grins and smiles at her, and I'm often like in my mind trying to imagine a dragon grinning or smiling, and I can't picture it. Maybe I need to look up some fan art or some Pinterest stuff on this book because I just can't picture it. And normally I visualize worlds and scenes so well. In this book, she's also sparked up a friendship with a character called Sasha. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not too sure. And it's quite sweet so far, so I'm interested to see how that friendship will develop. I will update you guys when I have a little bit more thoughts and opinions. It is about 9 o'clock here in New Zealand, and I came home from work and did dinner and had some family time with my husband and my baby, and then went to put her to sleep and did bedtime routine with her. And then I've been reading this evening, and I have now got about 44 minutes left of my book for Skyshade. I'm about 89% of the way through. So I thought, why not just read a little bit with you guys? I feel like I was so enthralled by Lightlark and Night Bane. I gave Lightlark 5 stars and Night Bane 4.5 stars. So a little bit sad that it's a little bit of a lower read for me. And I just feel like I am battling with, I think I've said this 100 times, but I don't know where this love triangle is going to go. Like, is it just going to be like a why choose one at the end of the series, or is she actually going to end up with someone? Yeah. I've just realized why the book is called Skyshade. I'm going to need a minute to process that, guys. I think I'm going to give this book a 3.75. I was talking about giving it a 3.5, but I feel like the last couple of chapters I just had to bump it up, just because it was so,
the display of power was so incredible. I am really intrigued to see where the books will go next. So I probably won't pick up a new book tonight because I'm going to go off to bed soon. But now I don't know what I'm feeling like next. So I really wanted to pick up the next book of Throne of Glass next. But now I don't know if I feel like I want to go back into Throne of Glass just yet, or if I want to go back into the Caraval world, or I could go back into From Blood and Ash, the prequel series, Fire and Flesh. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to make a decision right now because I'm probably going to say one thing tonight and then pick up another book tomorrow. But yeah, wait for tomorrow to see what I pick up next. For other moms out there, I am sure you guys are also constantly moving about baby toys and toddler toys around. You clean up and then the next hour they're everywhere again. That's all right, I don't mind. I ended up picking up the next Throne of Glass book, book number 5, Empire of Storms. I put this book down last year just because I was getting into a bit of a reading slump. I had read the first 4 and was kind of a bit getting a bit fatigued with reading fantasy books. So I ended up picking it up now again and I'm absolutely loving it. I am like kicking myself for putting it down for so long. I'm loving it. I am 26% of the way through and on page 183 and I'm absolutely loving it. I know that there is a big debate on the reading order for these books. I know some people either start with Assassin's Blade and then continue reading the rest of the series. Some people start the first 2 books and then read Assassin's Blade. So I ended up doing it that way. I read the first 2 books and then read Assassin's Blade third. And I really enjoyed that reading order because I feel like I wouldn't have cared so much for Sam if I had not read the first 2 books, if that makes sense. I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to give it away or spoil it for people who have not read the books yet. So yeah, that was the reading order that I did. For those of you who've not read Throne of Glass, the series is by the Sarah J. Maas. Altogether, there are 8 books in the series. There are some fae elements to the book, which has been really exciting to see. Our female main character, Selena, she is a assassin who has been placed in a prison, and the prince has chosen her as his champion to go into a set of challenges or trials to beat out other contestants in order to win the king's favor. But the books really do become involved and intense. So far, I feel like the chapters, even though there are different POVs, have flowed really well into each other. Like, I feel like when I was reading Skyshade, I was battling a bit with the flow of the chapters. That threw me off a bit. Like, I felt like we were missing things in between chapters. But Empire Storms has been really, really good in terms of flowing from one chapter to the other. Once I'm a little bit further all the way through, I'll give you more of my thoughts and opinions of the book. I am on chapter 47 of Empire of Storms, which is about 64% of the way through. I am enjoying it so far. I feel like it flows really, really well. I am thoroughly enjoying the sad character POVs more than I'm enjoying the main character at the moment, and I have no idea why. I'm enjoying reading about Elodie or Elodie. Oh, let me know how to pronounce that in the comments. And I'm enjoying reading about Manon. I feel like their storylines have gripped me more than the main character's storyline. I thoroughly enjoy Queen of Shadows. I felt like that's been my favorite book of the series so far. I really enjoyed the main character's storyline in that book, but this book I'm seeming to enjoy the side characters more. I feel like Empire of Storms probably at the moment won't be high up there as Queen of Shadows was. I'm leaning more towards a 4.5 star at the moment. But I think I'm going to have to obviously read the rest of the book before I finalize my rating on this book. Sometimes when I'm reading this book, I feel like the scenes can be a bit random, but the author is fantastic of coming back to those random scenes and making them relevant and bringing great plot reveals from those random scenes. So that's been really fun to read before I go and carry on reading. Even though I'm not enjoying the main character as much as the side characters at the moment, she is still just as witty and smart and clever as she was in the other books. So that's still been so fun to read about. But yeah, let me carry on reading and I will let you guys know my thoughts once I finish the book. Guys, wow. Just wow. Like, I have just finished this book and it ends on a cliffhanger, and I don't know what to do with myself. I have to read Tower of Dawn first before I know where the storyline picks up, because Tower of Dawn is set in the same timeline as Empire of Storms, but with different characters. So I have to read that first before I can read Kingdom of Ash. And I am in absolute shock at the ending of this book. Wow. I don't even know where to start. I'm still reading. I feel like the last 30% of this book I absolutely flew through. I just could not put it down. It was so, so good. So, with the last 30% of the book, the storylines or the POVs converge into one storyline. And I thought it was really well done. And I really enjoyed all the characters together and interacting together and just reading all of their POVs together, if that makes sense. The other thing I wanted to mention was I really enjoyed the way that this book made Assassin's Blade and the characters within Assassin's Blade really relevant. I don't want to say more than that. So, for the last book of this vlog, I ended up picking up a series that I hadn't mentioned at the start of this video. So, at the start of this video, I had kind of started this Woven Kingdom for another vlog, and the way that book ended, I really wanted to pick up the next one. And I was going to only pick it up like next month, but I don't think I can wait that long. So I ended up picking up the next book called These Infinite Threads. So technically, I am still continuing a series. It's just not a series that I hadn't anticipated picking up in this vlog. So, this Woven Kingdom is a YA romantasy series. This series is based on Persian mythology, and our main female character is a jinn. Jinn in this world are made to be outcast and have to hide their powers. So, our female main character is actually the heir to the jinn kingdom, and she is in hiding. And in hiding, she is acting or posing as a servant in one of the royal family's houses. I think it's the aunt to the prince. And basically, the prince sees her and realizes there's something different about her. And he is trying to figure out who she is. She also sees the prince and starts developing feelings for him. It's really, really interesting. But now, the way that it ended, another character is brought into the mix. So, like I said, I've really picked up the second book as an audio book from my library, and I'm about 20% of the way through so far. And it's brought in another character. I think that there might be a love triangle. It's definitely taken a completely different turn to what I thought the series would be. I've got a long work trip coming up tomorrow that's going to be about I think I'm going to be in the car for about 4 hours, and I generally listen to my audiobooks at 1.5 or 1.75. So I'm hoping to get at least another like 5 hours in of this audiobook tomorrow. This audiobook is only 11 and a half or 12 hours long. So I'm hoping that I get a good chunk of the way through tomorrow. I feel like the books in this video have like broken my heart. Each of the books have ended either on like a cliffhanger or there's been like a love triangle and has just broken my heart. I guess this is why we read, because we go into different worlds and there are different plot twists and it makes you feel emotions, and yeah, this is why we read. I finished These Infinite Threads and have really enjoyed the book. I've definitely enjoyed it more than I did the first book. I ended up giving it a 4.25. The first book, This Woven Kingdom, I gave it a 4 star. It's been quite nice reading about a female main character who's more soft-hearted and kind. Even though she's very powerful, she is a lot gentler than a lot of other main female characters that I've read about recently. So that's been quite a nice little change to read. And yes, this book was definitely a love triangle book. I even put up a TikTok this week about love triangles and how frustrated I was about them. At the moment, I am Team Cyrus, but for those of you who've read the first 2 books or have read the series, let me know what you guys think. The third book is out. It's called This Twisted Glory, and I'm sure I'll pick it up soon. I think the fourth one is due to release in September, and then obviously there's no date yet for the fifth one. So overall, with the books that I've read in this video, I've given Skyshade a 3.75. Ended up giving Empire of Storms a 4.75, and then this book a 4.25. So overall, good ratings, even though I got my heart broken a couple of times. But yeah, I feel like it was a good reading vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have made it this far in the video, please can you like and subscribe? It would really help me. And thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.